Before we ever touch a client's advertising budget, we do a full audit of their last 12 months of ad spend. It's part of our tactical battle plan, a trademark process we use with every client. We find the money they are already wasting before we ask them to spend anything new. Across 4 clients, the same 3 problems kept showing up. Today, I'm walking you through exactly what we found, what was broken, and how we fixed it. Before I get into audits, I want to be clear about something. None of these businesses had a budget problem. They were all spending real money. TV, radio, digital, search, social. The issue was never how much they were spending. It was what was happening or not happening with that spend. And in every single case, at least one of the same 3 problems was the culprit. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what those 3 problems are and whether any of them are happening in your business right now. Client number 1 is a local RV dealer. Solid website, easy to navigate, well laid out. They were spending on TV, radio, digital, PPC, geofencing, and social media. By any measure, this was a business that was investing seriously in their marketing and advertising. Here's what the audit revealed. First, they had multiple ads running with different taglines. There was no single memorable reason for a customer to choose them. No unified message, no unique value proposition, just a collection of ads that didn't add up to anything. Second, they were on radio stations that had quietly lost their audiences over the years. Nobody had gone back to check. The money was still going out every month and the listeners weren't there anymore. Third, and this one stings, nobody in the organization could connect their advertising spend with their actual sales. They were spending significant money every month, and I had no way to see whether any of it was actually moving the needle. Here's what we did. We created a clear, memorable, unique value proposition and built a unified campaign message around it that got refreshed monthly. We pulled money off the underperforming radio stations based on local market research and put it somewhere better. And we put systems in place to start connecting advertising activity to sales results so they could finally see what was working. Client number 2 is a local service company trying to grow. Again, solid website, good spend across TV, pay-per-click, and radio. From the outside, it looks like a business doing everything right. Here's what our audit found. Same problem as client 1. No clear, unique value proposition. Nothing that made them the obvious choice in their market. But there was something else. They had been running the same single commercial for over a year. Same script, same visuals, same everything. When an ad runs that long without a refresh, customers stop seeing it. It becomes wallpaper. And then we found the redundancy. Their prior agency had booked them on a traffic sponsorship at several local radio stations that shared the same audience. They were paying twice to reach the same people. So here's what we did. We built them a strong UVP, unique value proposition. We created new ads that kept the same style and voice as the original, so existing customers still recognized the brand, but with enough freshness to cut through the noise again. And we pulled money off the redundant placements and moved it to TV stations we researched specifically to target homeowners, the actual customer profile for their business. Client number 3 is a local business association. Their website looked good. They were active on TV, radio, and social media on behalf of their members, but they had one persistent problem. They weren't showing up in local search results. They had spent money on SEO in the past and felt like it had done nothing. That's a frustrating place to be. You've already tried the solution and it didn't work. Here's what the audit found. Their directory listings, the places across the web where your business name, address, phone number, and website appear, were significantly out of date. Some had old addresses, some had wrong phone numbers, some were just missing entirely. Search engines use those listings to verify that a business is legitimate and relevant. When they're inconsistent or outdated, your search rankings suffer regardless of how good your website is. Here's what we did. We conducted a full SEO audit, cleaned up and updated their directory listings across the web, made targeted on-page updates to their website to improve visibility, and managed their social media for a period to build organic reach for their members. The search visibility problem wasn't that SEO didn't work. It was that the foundation it runs on had never been properly maintained. Client number 4 is a Midwest RV dealer trying to stand out against a national competitor. Solid website, serious ad spend, TV, radio, digital, search, geofencing, connected TV. They even had a YouTube channel performing well enough that it had been monetized. This is a sophisticated marketing operation. And yet, again, 3 problems. First, they had a jingle they'd been using for years, and they had a complicated relationship with it. They knew it was outdated, but it was tied to over 50 years of brand heritage, and they didn't want to lose that connection. So they kept running it, even though it wasn't serving them like they wanted it to anymore. Second, they had a radio station in the mix that the owner had started advertising on years ago. They had no current ratings data. There was no way to verify that anyone was actively listening. The relationship had outlasted the evidence. Third, they had TV contracts that had been running on autopilot for years, logo-based brand awareness spots. 15 seconds, just a logo, no product, no promotion. Nobody had ever tied those spots to sales. Nobody had asked whether they were doing anything. They just kept renewing. Here's what we did. We worked with them to create an updated jingle, singable, memorable, modern, that still honored their 50-plus year heritage so they didn't lose what made them recognizable. We pulled money off the unverifiable radio station and put it somewhere we could actually measure. And we audited the TV contracts, moved budget away from the 15-second logo spots, and replaced them with 30-second ads featuring actual RVs and sales promotions. Campaigns built to drive people onto the lot, not just recognize the name. 4 different businesses, 3 different industries, and the same 3 problems showing up every time. Problem 1, no clear unique value proposition. No memorable reason for a customer to choose you over everyone else. When you don't have that, your advertising is just noise. It might get seen, it won't get remembered. Problem 2, media stopped working but nobody noticed. Radio stations that lost their audience. Redundant placements reaching the same people twice. Relationships that outlasted the data supporting them. Money leaving the building every month with nowhere useful to go. Problem 3, nobody could see if the advertising campaigns were actually working. No connection between ad spend and sales results. SEO investments that felt invisible because the foundation was broken. Brand awareness campaigns running on autopilot with no accountability to revenue. Here's what ties all 3 problems together. None of them are obvious from the outside. Every one of these businesses looked like they were doing all the right things. The spending was real. The platforms were legitimate. The intentions were good. The problems were underneath, and nobody had looked. Here's what I want you to take away from this. If you are spending real money on advertising and not seeing results that make sense to you, don't assume you need to spend more, and don't assume your agency has looked under the hood recently either. Ask 3 questions. 1, do we have a single clear reason why a customer should choose us over everyone else? And can every person in our organization say it from memory? 2, when did we last audit every platform we're spending money on? Are the audiences still there? Are we reaching the same people twice without knowing it? And 3, can we see how our advertising is affecting our sales? Not impressions, not clicks, sales. If you can't answer all 3 of those questions confidently, you have the same problems these 4 clients had. And the good news is, every single one of them is fixable without increasing your budget by a single dollar. If this is the kind of thinking your business needs, the link below is the best place to start. And if you found this useful, subscribe, because this is exactly the type of content I'm going to keep putting out.